little raptor then, aren't you a cute one? Yes you are, yes you are.
Elaine!
What?
Let's go to London!
No, why? Go away, I'm busy. Who's a grubby little sonar then? Is it time for your bath? Yes it is.
Elaine! Let's go to London!
No, go away. No, it's okay. I know nobody likes you, but it's okay. We can't all be cozy.
Elaine! Let's go to London!
No, let's not. I hate London. I hate it. It's
What's
such
wrong with
a
London?
stupid place. It's dirty and smelly and there's millions of people and I hate it and it's rubbish.
No, you don't see. London is wonderful, it's great. It's got gherkins and shards and boats and rivers and poo. And everything that you want in life, you can find in London. Elaine, we are going to London. As board gamers, we disagree pretty much on everything. But if there's one thing that can unite us is that we probably all agree that theme makes board games a lot better. And there are some truly, truly awesome and redonkulous themes in board games, like puppies, plumbing, dragons, and finally, Guilds in London? In essence, Guilds of London is a pretty simple game. Now, all you're doing in the game is you're sending your livery men to different guilds. And then once a guild at the end of the turn has a certain number of livery men, doesn't matter which color, and that number is always here at the top corner, that guild resolves. And when it does, you count the most livery men on it, and the person who has the most wins and gets the bonus for the guild. And this is the really innovative part. The person with the most victory points at the end of the game wins. As soon as we got Guilds of London, I thought, I know, yes, of course, the guilds in London. I don't really know anything about Guilds of London, but fear not, because right here with us we have a resident expert of London who was born in London and raised in London.
No, I wasn't. I was born in Slough, raised in Slough.
And then just pretend like it's fine. Just tell them
But
about.
I don't know anything about it.
Just stop ruining the.
Guilds of London. They were guilds in London, and they were like guilds of like armourers and Fletchers and stuff. Yeah, fine.
No. Okay, we're not going to pretend that Guilds of London has a very strong theme, but I don't think the game does either. What it does have instead is a plethora of these guild tiles and liverymen that you're going to be placing them on. And what are liverymen, you might ask? I don't know, but I can only assume they deliver liver. And on top of that, it has a whole stack of these really confusing cards.
Yeah, the cards are a bit confusing and I wasn't sure what they did when I first had a look at them. So I took to Twitter to ask the interwebs what they did. And this one means if you get your beadle to wee on a side, you get a victory point. And this one is if you shish kebab 3 guys in a row, you get 3 victory points. But this one is unfortunately if you happen to be wearing tights when you play the game, you lose 2 victory points.
Now this perfectly illustrates why you shouldn't really trust anything on the internet apart from us. Trust us because we're trustworthy. Now, at the start of the game, you're going to get 6 cards into your hand, and because of the ginormous pile of cards you're drawing these from, you might think that there's a lot of randomness to what you're actually going to draw. There is, and there isn't at the same time. Let me explain. Every card that you draw has 4 different ways that you can use it. First of all, you can simply spend a card, any colour, any card, just to hire a liveryman and put it into your guild hall. Then you can spend a card of a certain colour to take a liveryman from your guild hall and put it on a tile that has a herald of the matching colour. The third thing you can do is you can simply play a card for its ability. But you see, some cards have a cost attached to them, but every card is also currency, so you can pitch a card to pay for its ability and then play it.
Fortunately, the game does come with these handy reference sheets explaining what all the different symbols do, but only 2 of them come in the box, and almost definitely, at least on your first couple of playthroughs, you are going to be needing them over and over again, which means it's really inconvenient to have to be sharing them in a 4-player game.
And cards and what they do is really important in this game. You see, anything you want to do that's kind of redonkulous, that's what the cards allow you to do. You see, there's an inherent economy in everything in Guilds of London. Hiring a liveryman costs a card. Sending a liveryman somewhere also costs 1 card. It's 1 for 1, right? But the cards let you break that rule, because let's say I played this card and it cost me 1 other card to pitch, and that says whenever I hire a liveryman, I will draw a card at the end of the turn. And let's pitch another card to pay for this ability that says whenever I hire a liveryman, I get an extra liveryman. And let's play these 2 cards which are free for their own abilities, which says hire 2 liverymen, hire 2 liverymen. Double that, that's 8 liverymen and 8 cards at the end of the turn, which is a lot.
Honestly, the first couple of times I played this, I didn't have a great time. I didn't feel like I was really interacting with the board or knew what it did. I didn't know what anyone else was doing. And I was looking at these every couple of seconds and I had no idea what my cards did. And I felt like everyone could see exactly what I was trying to look at, so they knew what cards I had as well. And it was all just a bit of a pickle. But
on our third playthrough, the game just completely blossomed. And here's why. Look, the best way I can explain to you why this game is so exciting and so engaging is by simply showing you what happens in the game. Let's say I really want to take control of the Woolman Guild. Now, I could simply send liverymen there and waste my resources like that and just kind of establish my dominance and hurrah, I win. But I know that the yellow player wants to take control of the goldsmith. So instead of actually sending men to the Woolman Guild, I will send 2 liverymen to the goldsmiths. Now the yellow player will start thinking, hey, he's after my goldsmiths. I better send my liverymen to secure my dominance right there. But here's the trick. You didn't want the goldsmiths. You wanted the woolmen. So on your next turn, you simply send men to the woolmen. And then when those 2 guilds score, you're going to win that guild. And you're going to come second place here, scoring an extra 3 points for the second place tile, which are distributed randomly at the start of the game on all the tiles. And the trick is, your opponent is probably thinking the same thing at the same time and have their own evil schemes. This game is mean, but it's okay. It's meant to be mean.
the neutral liverymen are the meanest of them all, because they really throw a spanner into the works of any maths you're trying to get done in your head. If I put my liveryman there because I want to get second place and get these extra 3 victory points, I have noticed though that Ev has this neutral liveryman and could, at the end of the round, kick my guy out so I wouldn't score any points at all. But equally, he could use it anywhere on the board. So he could put it there, for example, kick this guy out, and I wouldn't get this extra neutral liveryman for second place. But the thing is, I just really don't know what he's going to do. He might not want to use it at all. He might be saving it for something else. Or he might just be bluffing, so to make me spend liverymen that I don't want to spend to secure that second place or even the first place for that. It's like a cat and mouse game where you're both cats and you're both mice. I have 2 neutral liverymen as well, so I could kick his out if he kicked mine out, and nobody would score any points for that tile at all.
But these battles are not the only battles you're fighting in Guilds of London. See, you have mayoral reward cards. At the start of the game, you'll get 3 of them, but you only get to keep 1. And some of them are pretty simple, like you get 2 victory points for every yellow tile you're controlling at the end of the game. Or something a bit more complicated, like for every neutral liveryman you still have at the end of the game, you get 1 victory point. The problem with these is that they range in the reward that you're getting, because some will be easy to achieve and some will be hard. And the final trick is that that's not the only mayoral reward card you're going to get through the course of the game. Many guild tiles, as part of the reward, give you a chance to look at more mayoral reward cards and pick one of them to keep and will score points from at the end of the game. On top of that, there's a plantation tile. Now, a plantation tile is just like any other tile, but it scores only in certain rounds, and also it has 2 sides, and at the start of every game, you get to simply pick one of the sides that you're going to play with. One of them is pretty simple. Second place will get you 3 points. First place will get you 7. And 7 is a lot in this game. Whereas on this side, second place will still get you 3 points, but the first place will get you a numerical reward card. And we found that we prefer to play with the more simple side simply because the reward that you're going to get, the fight that you're getting yourself into, is simply guaranteed to be 7 points and not 0 to 12 or however silly it can be. But that's not the only problem, you see. The problem with the plantation tile is that it's highly reliant on the cards you draw, because you can't just move liverymen onto it like you would normally. You have to have a special card that lets you move a liveryman to the plantation tile. But that's not it. You see, once again, there are guilds that will, as part of the reward, let you move your liverymen to the plantation tile. And there's so many ways that you can actually move your liverymen there. But if you don't get a card that lets you do that, the problem is that then you have to focus your efforts onto that specific tile and get the reward just so you can put your meeple there, just so that you don't lose every 4 rounds on getting 7 or even just 3 victory points. Those battles can dilute the progress of the game, especially in a board like this where it feels really open at the start because you can put your liveryman anywhere, just like a game of Go. But no one says that Go is a really open game, do they? No, Go is tight and every single move matters. Just like that, every single move matters in Guilds of London. It's just that the game is really engaging. It's not perfect. It's a little bit flawed, and some of the elements don't quite work, but it is really, really engaging.
This game has been in development for 10 years.
And if you think in your head right now 10 is just a number, think about working on something in your life for 10 years, and props to designer Tony Boydell for just spending all that time balancing all these cards and all these tile abilities. And there's a lot in this game, a huge amount, and a lot of it is quite mean.
But the thing is, we don't think maybe it's the best game for like just popping out at a board game club. But if you're going to be playing with people that you know, that you like talking about games with, we think it's going to be a really, really fun game and really interactive and really come alive.
It's a game that needs the discussion to come open in the table. It needs people talking about their strategies and not necessarily giving away what they're doing, but simply engaging in
with other players.
With other players in conversations about what's going on in the game. And we think then the game really takes on a whole new level. And we found actually that whilst initially we thought the 2-player game isn't that strong because the board is actually quite big right from the get-go, whereas in the 3 or 4-player game the board is smaller and you just build it as the game goes along. It's actually really great with 2 because you're fighting you're concentrating on these battles that you're engaging only with one other person. And whilst it can lull a little bit at times, at other times when it's exciting, it's really exciting.
And you will talk about it afterwards as well. We found ourselves discussing what we'd tried to do and not done and had done and managed to do for ages afterwards, and it was really cool.
And like we mentioned, the game does have some elements that are not necessarily the best, like the really hardcore symbology on the cards, but if you can forgive it, I think you'll find a lot of enjoyable things in Guilds of London.
My mama cooks in Italy, mama swims in Argentina, mama's got a chunga, yeah. My mama's works in Venezuela, mama likes